Hello， 欢迎来到异想直播间。本场直播的主题是 BioChina 2026国际论坛俄罗斯市场。Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar hosted by BioChina. Today's webinar topic is Russia market.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues and my dear friends. First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to say a few words on behalf of biotechnology in Russia. Dear colleagues, I would like to start from the overview of biotechnology in Russia. What is going on in Russia at this moment in biotechnology? The market at this moment in Russia is around $5 billion as far as biotechnology products are concerned. Of course, this is not a big amount if we say about in percent. This is less than 0.5% of world market. But according to the national bioeconomic strategy of Russian Federation, the market must be around $10 billion by 2030. So the market must grow very fast, and I think by 2030, 2031, the market must be around $10 billion, and it must reach to 1% of the global market of biotechnology, products. As far as the local production is concerned, I can say that we are producing at this moment around $1 billion plus US dollars products in biotechnology, and I think by 2030 we will reach around $3 billion of internal production inside Russia. So here also the process is going on, in my opinion, very fast. And there are around 3 biopharmaceutical groups in Russia, which at this moment control like more than 80% of Russian biopharmaceutical market. And of course, pharma is one of these 3 major groups in Russia making biopharmaceutical products. Colleagues, I would like to say a few words about pharma. Pharma was established in 1997. The company is going to be 30 years soon. And at this moment, the company is #1 as far as supply for government sector, for hospital sector is concerned in Russia. We are the largest by volume of supply in Russian Federation. And of course, we have export in all the countries of CIS region from Russia. Next is, at this moment, we have around 8 manufacturing facilities in Russia, right from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok, all over the country, and more than 6,000 people working, qualified people working in our company. And if we say about revenues of pharmaceuticals, in 2025, we had revenues around $700 million. Colleagues, I mean, of course, it's better to see rather than listen. So I would like to ask you to switch on a video about pharmaceuticals, not the biotech plant of pharmaceuticals. I think 3 minutes of video. Yeah, I would like to request you to see that. We have solid dosage forms as well. Not only biotech, of course, biotech is the main. And the company is approved by Brazilian authority Anvisa. Equipments from China as well we have. Of course, China is now a big supplier of pharmaceuticals. Yeah, thank you for that. So colleagues, I can say that we have either European standards or higher than European standards in our biotech factory in St. Petersburg. And of course, I would like to invite you to use the opportunity to go ahead with your products for Russian Federation. There are very simple reasons why you should cooperate with Russian companies, with Russian market, because Russia along with CIS is more than 200 million people with good buying capacity. Pharmaceuticals is a reliable company with 30 years of experience and largest supplier in Russian healthcare system. So we invite you to be with us, to be in partnership with us. Moreover, we have around 10 companies in China where we have technology corporation and we have in-license agreements, etc. So I would like to invite you for cooperation. Thank you very much.
Dear colleagues, afternoon. Thank you very much for your attention and you coming here. We see many people here, BD professionals, and we see that interest to the Russian market is really growing. Let me introduce our panel session dedicated to Russian-Chinese partnerships and business development and licensing deals. For your presence, I would like to introduce BD directors, vice presidents, business development and licensing heads of the major pharmaceutical companies in the Russian Federation. Today we will speak about certain commonalities of business development and licensing deals, our interests, the peculiarities of the collaborations, and key success factors which are the basis of our partnership and collaboration. So I will ask our participants to introduce ourselves. Please.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible? Yeah? So my name is Svetlana Bolsheva. I'm Business Development Director in Biopharma Group. And representing my company, I need to say that we are one of the top leading pharmaceutical company in Russia, having 6 manufacturing plants, and we have a capability to manufacture almost all dosage forms except maybe soft gel capsules. And definitely what is the major interest right now, this is the capability to manufacture biotech products, monoclonal antibodies and other biotech products. And we have a good experience of product development, small molecules, chemicals mainly. and licensing of high-tech biotech products from China. We have good experience of clinical trials and product registration, and actually this year we are going to launch first Chinese product manufactured in Russia based on technology what we licensed from China. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, colleagues. My name is Alexander Gorenin. I'm a head of M&A and BD&L department of Niche Pharm. Niche Pharm is number one retail player on the Russian market, and Niche Pharm is within top 5 market players on a pharmaceutical market in Russia. So we have 2 production plants. The number of employees is more than 2,200, and we make full-scale production, registration, development of medicines in Russia, and for sure we make commercialization and promotion of products in Russia. Our product portfolio consists of OTC products, about 2/3, and RX products. And currently we are highly interested in introduction of new, modern, innovative drugs into Niche Pharm product portfolio, and that is why I'm here and welcomes you.
Dear colleagues, my name is Vadim. And first of all, actually, it's my pleasure to be here and taking this opportunity. Let me welcome all participants of BioChina. Really nice exhibition, and it's actually my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you very much. So I am in charge of business development for R-Pharm. R-Pharm is actually, as said, we are also one of the leading companies. We are all here leading companies, good friends, and good competitors at the same time. So total turnover of our company in more than 2 billion USD. We are quite significant company for Russia. Vikram just talked about 3 companies that control the market. We're actually one of them. And in terms of on top of our commercial strengths, we have extremely good manufacturing footprint. We have our own 11 manufacturing sites. So 11, we are really just significant. And you know, for me, actually, I joined their farm just a couple of months ago, but the company is in the process of transformation. So coming from extremely big distributor, increasing the portfolio of our own products, we are moving to innovations. And definitely China is already recognized, not by myself, but probably by World Society as one of the center of excellence for innovation. That's why actually I'm here. I'm looking for innovation. I'm looking for in-licensing deal. And R-Pharm has all capabilities for such kind of the products. So we're regularly doing in-licensing deal here and welcoming our partner just to contribute to us, contribute to Russian market. Let me support Vikram. The market has tremendous perspective. And actually, you will have a lot of good partners in Russia, among them R-Pharm. Thank you very much.
Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Igor Volkov. I'm a head at Nanolec company. Nanolec, it's biotechnological Russian pharmaceutical companies. We, as well as all the colleagues here, are a leading company, not in retail, but in state, actually. So our core business and core product portfolio consists from vaccines, orphans, and oncological products. And we are here, as well as our colleagues from other companies, to find new partners and new partnerships, because we're looking at the market for the last several years. And it is impressive how Chinese companies rapidly and effective develop new original biotechnological products. So we have in our product portfolio as well some cases and some deals and some partners from China as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Alexander Nazdrachev. I'm managing partner of Innovine Bio. I'm doing consulting business in the field of product portfolio development and deal making, exactly specializing in the assessment of innovative pharmaceutical products and helping Russian pharmaceutical companies doing business development and licensing deals. And the composition of our participants, not by accident, all these respected persons have already experienced signing licensing deals with Chinese pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical companies. And I would like to ask them to share their experience, to share with us, where it is not a secret, details, what was difficult, what was easy, what was the peculiarities, what was the moments which they would like to address the main attention. And Svetlana, please, your turn. Please tell us what experience you have.
Okay, I will start. So, you know that for Biopharma Group, doing business with Chinese companies, this is not something new. Actually, we have a good background of doing cooperation with API suppliers. And that is why when we had a need to find the partner for biotech products, we realized that this should be a good start for searching new partners. I mean, China as a country. And here we have, I will not show and share some commercial details, sorry for doing this, but I will say some words about local needs, why we are addressing China, and why and what difficulties actually, okay, what issues we had to manage with. You know that Russian authorities, they force us to have all strategic products localized in Russia. And due to legislation, while searching the partner, we were looking for the partner who would be ready to transfer technology, not giving the licensing rights to the product dossier, but also transferring technology both for drug product and drug substance. So this is a very complicated deal, and that is why at that time, when we just executed the first deal more than 3 years ago, just few companies were ready to do it. Now the situation is different, and I think that this is thanks to our experience as well, because Chinese companies, potential partners, they see that we don't just sign the deal. We are able to execute the deal, to implement it, to register the product, to transfer technology, and we are definitely a reliable partner. And I do believe that our actual partners can give good recommendations to work with us, and this gives us an opportunity to think about not only biosimilar products, but also innovations. Because Vadim mentioned that he is looking here for new partners for innovative drugs. Same for me. Having first 2 products in biosimilar, we are looking for more complex, more innovative drugs as well.
Thank you. It's very interesting, and as far as I remember, recently was an announcement about your deal.
Actually, just so some information is really open. You know that our first partner in China in terms of licensing, this is Mabwell, Shanghai company, with whom we are doing our denosumab and adalimumab product. But commercially, this is not the first products what we have. Just 2 weeks ago, we launched finished product manufactured by a Chinese company, part of Sinopharm, and we started selling it in Russia.
Nobody told you that would be easy. I told you I would ask questions.
Yes, and really it was not easy, but having our experience in Russia, we could manage all difficulties. And you know, you asked about what was difficult and what challenges we face. I would like maybe to emphasize some easy things. Actually, despite the fact that, of course, we are very different, I mean, Russian people and Chinese people, at the same time, we have something common. We do business not on company level. We do business on personal level. So one person to another person. And this helps us to manage all difficulties. We are very open, we are working together, very transparent, and all issues what we face, we can manage because we can respect each other and we can rely on each other.
Thank you.
Actually, Niche Farm is gaining experience in licensing deals with Chinese companies. We started our approach and our journey. We were, I would say, simple, but really complex in licensing deal. Last year was an announcement. So we signed a license and supply agreement with one of Chinese companies in respect of small molecule, orphan drug. So we are really happy that we done this journey. And as a next step, we would like to expand our cooperation, and we are looking forward to new opportunities. And of course, something is already on the table, what we are working on.
Thank you, Alexander. And Vadim, as far as I know, you have not one, not two. You have certain experience, and we would like you to share your insight, especially taking into consideration that it is not hidden information that recently was announced deal of Biopharma with one of the leading biopharmaceutical company in China.
Right, colleagues. You know, I would not distinguish one partner instead of another. So we are doing quite a lot. Probably we are talking about tens deals per year. And we are not only limited to licensing in, not only to innovative products. We're also discussing co-development agreements that actually my favorite ones. Because, you know, I'm actually a scientist, and to leverage experience that China has here is quite tremendous opportunity for me. I have quite significant background of working in big pharmaceutical companies and having dealt with European, American company. And actually what I noticed here for China, that the level of competency and expertise is on the huge level. So the guys are capable to discuss freely in English, all modern medicine with all modern commercial frameworks. So expertise is really on the cutting edge here. So it's easy. It's easy having the experience of working with European company. It's easy to discuss with Chinese, because what I noticed, almost all Chinese guys, BD, they came from big pharma. The same for me. I actually came from Sanofi to Russian company. A lot of Chinese company does approximately the same. So we are actually speaking on the same language. It's quite easy, I would say. What is important to mention, and I just would like to join Sveta, you know, when you're looking about Russia and when you're planning your strategy here, it's important not only just to do licensing in for the products that those are, but technical transfer is one of the key enabler in order to have substantial level of the sales. If you're not thinking about in advance of this, then actually probably the strategy will be failing. Innovation, market access, and the products that actually supposed to be purchased by the state funded, they should be localized. To which extent actually it's possible to discuss. But when you're planning to go to Russia, please do this, because technical transfer capabilities, this is key. I'm sure actually probably all of us actually have such kind of the competencies, but this is important to take into account. You know, and then the second just one, when you're discussing the case, for me, two elements is usual case. The first one, registration strategy, so actually how they make asset registrable here. And the second one, this is market access strategy, how actually to make it saleable here. So this is important just to discuss in details. So for instance, I'm doing it in a very simple way. I'm just trying to propose a business case with all appropriate level of details, discuss this very much consequently, and then transform this in the form of the licensing agreement with all appropriate milestones that should be dedicated to some certain, life cycle of the project. So this is actually what you need just to take care about the discussing when you are going and planning to go to the Russia. And for our competencies here, we are discussing with all companies here on the different levels, different kind of the stages. So starting from the building cell line for us, then actually scaling up the production till 15 liters, till 2,000 liters, and then actually making the innovative assets. So the diversity of the deals that we are discussing is really huge. I don't want to probably designate just one of them. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Vadim. Igor, please tell us about your experience and please share your insights.
So, yeah, I mean, in Nanolec, we don't like, to make the announcements here, but I will try to say about the case which impressed me. So, as everybody, I suppose everybody understands that signing the deal, it's only 50% of the problem, yeah? And the big challenge, it is the day after of signing of the deal. And what we met in our work with Chinese company is that, first of all, we make our pre-audit to the facility and understand that regulatory requirements may not be aligned in Russia and in China. And the first lesson was that pre-audit is quite good idea because your Russian partner has to know how to improve something in the process, in the documents, to be sure that after that you will comply with Russian GMP audit. It was the first lesson. The second, we built cross-functional team, and it was really big cross-functional team who work almost in online regime, and all the issues which we faced worked same day, same time. Never, nothing wasn't postponed. So, and in the end of the project, it saved to us almost 1 year of the time plan compared to initial one. So, and the third lesson for me in this case with this company was that Chinese partners could be really constructive, really open, really productive, and it's really the thing which impressed us all in our company. So, and I hope that every product in the future will be quite the same. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to emphasize one point, which is really seemed important to me. Take away from our first session of our questions. Svetlana, you said that the deal is the product of two persons, two representatives of the company, not two companies. Why so? Because these two persons rely on each other and can translate the bureaucracy, the culture, the internal alignment to each other. And these two persons are umbrella to each other, and they strive to agree. And this internal agreement between two persons, actually, this is the real token of successful deal. Not company make the deal, people make the deal. So we actually discussed, how to say, what was already done, what was past. And I would like you propose to discuss the future, how our relationships will evolve in the time period of 5, 10, 15 years. And my first question, Svetlana, if you don't mind, to you, traditionally, would be what key drivers will shape China-Russia biopharma partnership and collaboration over the next 5, 10 years?
I would say, yeah, actually this is a very complex question because I think that here we can discuss about therapeutic areas, we can discuss about innovations, we can discuss about market size, market potential, and capabilities of both countries and pharma industries. Personally, I do believe that we are very close to era of really new drugs that can change the life of people. Because the most expensive drugs now, we don't treat the disease. We improve the quality of people's life. So I do believe that quite in a few years, let's hope so, in 10 years, we can think about some products that can make our life longer and happier. I don't know if I answer you or not. Hopefully China and Russia companies will bring their impact to achieve this target.
Thank you. Alexander and Vadim, you actually working in the companies with a bit different segments. So Alexander is the representative of the company leading in the retail segment. Vadim representing the company leading in the hospital segment, in the segment of reimbursement. So these two segments, which actually constitutes together the Russian market. And here I would like to ask the question to you both. Which therapeutic areas and types of innovations will be the most in demand in the next 5-10 years, in perspective of retail business and in perspective of state-driven business? Alex.
Very good question. Thank you. So I do not have a crystal ball, but let me emphasize or let me guess about 3 factors which could deals effective for both parties. First factor is financial attractiveness of business case for both parties. If the case is attractive, I would say in this case, no matters which ATC class or which area the product belongs to. Second is long-term relationship between the parties. If both parties are interested in a long-term cooperation, for example, not only paying milestones, but in a long-term cooperation with paying royalties or with tech transfer with further support, in this case, such product or such idea will fly. And last but not least factor is that relationship and cooperation between Chinese and Russian companies increase dramatically. So I believe that this approach or this trend will be aggressively increasing, and if it is the case, I would say that such companies or such projects will fly and will be successful for both parties.
And I would like to maybe to restructure my question. Anyway, therapeutic areas. Okay. What you are looking for?
Give us insights.
Yeah. What you're looking for? Which class of the product? Which therapeutic area? What you consider would be really market drivers in the time period of 5-10 years?
Any original, any innovative drug which could bring additional value to the company and to the patients.
Okay. tricky question, tricky answer. Vadim.
Okay, guys. It seems that this is not really difficult to predict. It's enough just to look first for the pipeline of the big pharma, second for the pipeline of the big Chinese companies that actually open information. And then probably next 5-10 years, this is definitely oncology, immunology, orphan products, maybe virology to some extent. You know, and interesting that this is pretty much reflects the funding of the state channels in Russia. So oncology, so the biggest program, then probably you know about our Circle of Kindness, extremely good program for Russian patients, for Russian orphan patients. The amount of financing is probably relevant to the oncology, I would say. That's why when we are hunting and looking for the assets, actually our interest pretty much relevant to the state-funded channels and therapeutical areas. So we are looking for oncology, immunology, orphan products, virology, and something probably more minor. Interesting question. What I would probably wait from Chinese companies? It's interesting because I see the great transformation from the companies that just started like probably simple chemistry, then biosimilar, then doing me too, next in class. So it seems to me that there is already the time for critical mass gaining momentum, and probably as the next would be interesting to understand the real innovation coming from Chinese company. It's interesting because I just met a lot with prominent companies like Hengrui, for instance. One of their strategies is already to leverage expertise during the multinational, clinical trials. It's interesting because the guys already doing on the worldwide, scale. So most probably, I assume next 5-10 years, on top of oncology, immunology, orphan products, I'm waiting for really innovations coming from China. Why I'm actually waiting for this? Because I am like probably smaller a bit, not really so developed yet, but I would like to leverage on this expertise. For me, this is, the sense of the partnership. I always would like to be very close to them and to leverage this expertise, because for me, this is also the great source of innovation right now for Russia. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Vadim, for your insight. And following your answer, you actually talked about partnership. What is your opinion about what structure, potential structure of partnership most viable today, most solid, valuable for both parties? What do you think about how this partnership should be structured, and which kind of partnership you, as a Vice President for Business Development and Strategic Projects, you pursue in your day-to-day work?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Guys, ideal partnership, this is the one that is customized between, for instance, Air Farm and some Chinese company. So it means that there is no universal template for doing such kind of the deals, because you need to take into account first proprietary products, then strengths of your partnership, and the third one, cornerstone, this is actually environment. Environment in nowadays, it's not possible to predict at all. That's why, talking about universal templates is quite difficult. But the classical science here, just, okay, registration, market access, technical transfer, this is quite easy. What Chinese company need to acknowledge that just Vikram already told that we are just 1.5% of the pharmaceutical market in the world. It means that Chinese company, when talking about upfronts, okay, so they also need to be relevant to some extent. For me, important to deliver a message for Chinese companies. The value of the partnership should be developed within the course of your commercial development of the product. It's not possible to pay one time a lot and then simply wait. This is actually, both way movement. So it's all is difficult here. Constantly we need just to have the partnership meeting, and the value is spreading just across this development. So more just makes your product becomes more value generates to the partner. So this is just my thoughts here. And on top, actually, Sveta just thought very nice just thoughts. Really, it's not enough. All this, pharmaceutical science templates, they doesn't work until you establish good and reliable connection with the partner. So such kind of feelings as openness, trust, transparency, this is probably even much more important here, because on day one, as usual, everything just becomes opposite. I don't know why. I've done many deals. And day one is also, this is not actually what was planned at all. What is possible to do here? Okay, come to the partner to discuss, to talk. Once you already have the good connections with them, everything is possible to overcome. So based on these feelings, reputational acknowledgement, it's possible to overcome all possible issues. Again, because the environment is so volatile, it's not possible to plan for the next 5 years, unfortunately, neither in China nor in Russia, not in the world actually. That's why to have this partnership sense, for me, this is the most important here.
Totally confirm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Vadim. Igor, Nanolec is the famous company in terms of partnerships. You have experienced partnership with multinational companies. You experience different types of partnerships and distribution model, licensing model. What is your opinion? Which format of collaboration is most viable today and in the time period of future, for example, 5, 10 years? It is licensing deals, distribution deal, I don't know, joint venture, for example. What your perspective?
Yeah, Alexander, thank you. So we are at Nanolec using all the formats of cooperation. You're absolutely right, except GV, I believe, yeah, historically. And our company and other companies always say that we are open to any kind of partnership, yeah. But if, I believe 5 years ago, everybody on Russian market talking about to licensing, yeah, license deals. Right now, it's more and more distribution type of deal as well, yeah. But let's say distribution plus type of deal, yeah. When your partner, it's not just in distributor, yeah. We have a lot of in Russia distributors, yeah. But distributor who, you know, to take responsibility for market access, who help to you with the registration process, yeah. And so it's full partnership, which is still distribution agreement, yeah. It's more about who will be a MA holder or something like that. But the core of idea, yeah, as my colleagues mentioned, yeah, it is the idea of partnership itself, yeah. It's always between the people. We should remember that life cycle of product shorter and shorter, yeah, and in the future will be much more shorter. Right now it is, you know, more easy, you know, to find Me Too products on the market after 3 years, yeah, of the first original product inside the group, yeah. So the main idea, no matter what the type of deal it should be, yeah, it's more than how people will cooperate, and the good instrument for that, it is joint steering committee between the company. You can easily put it anyway, license deal, distribution agreement, yeah, as a mechanism who will support this partnership in the future. But back to your question, I suppose that all the type of deals will be relevant in the future. Licensing, it's like a main idea, yeah, for every company. Maybe it will be more joint venture in the future. It's my assumption, but we will see. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as a follow-up of this question, a short question to everybody. So, because the answer should be just short. What is the deal structuring? What is the main principle of the deal which build a long-term partnership? Not just one deal and that's it. What is the key principle of the long partnership?
Okay. I am the first. Once again, yes. I would say that, of course, because the deal is some start of long-term cooperation, we need to have some milestones for the time before launch, and then some profit-sharing model that can constitute from royalty payment and commercial milestones. This is my vision.
You're actually more about commercial.
Yes, sure.
Pragmatic.
I think that, of course, we start from commercial and we finish with commercial. In between, everything what we discussed today, partnership, team-to-team cooperation, person-to-person connection, but we are not just social organizations. We are part of commercial companies, and we need to think about money. And all deals, all partnership should bring commercial value to both parties.
Thank you. Fair enough. Alexander?
I couldn't choose only one, but first, financial attractiveness for both parties. If the deal is not attractive for any party, it will not fly. Second, as Vadim already mentioned, full transparency between parties. There should be clear roles of both parties, so party know what to do in day one, in day two, and during integration or during registration period. And third point is balanced approach in obligations and responsibilities and risks. That's all.
Thank you.
Guys, I will answer in the way what not to do. And interesting, it was just mentioned by my partner yesterday when we are in discussion of some phase 3 asset is not yet finished. You know, the quite significant level of peculiarities, I would say. And he told me, Vadim, why are you asking a lot of questions? Nobody knows actually about the price when. So when you're discussing innovation, it's not possible to predict everything. The main idea of the partnership is to understand the risk and to mitigate them and to make them appropriate. So it's not possible to foresee in the agreement on possible events, consequences, termination. Innovation, this is risk as per se, and you need to find the way how just actually to make it manageable. So this is the most important for innovation deals. I like very much this position and support it.
Thank you. Igor?
Okay, so I fully agree with colleagues, but I will add that my understanding is that you should be ready for transformation, this partnership, yeah? Because everything's changed so rapidly around us. We signed the deal for 10 or 15 years future, yeah, for the long. But nobody knows what will happen after 3 years of registration or 1 year before the registration, yeah? Of course, we analyze all the possible scenarios and so on and so on. But be open since the beginning between partners and be ready in constructive manner, discuss how they will transform this partnership if it's needed. I suppose that it is something that's quite new, but all necessary for the future for every company.
Thank you very much, Igor. And some questions, not from me. I actually received some questions from our Chinese partners, and I would like to address them. First question from Chinese audience is when localization and technology transfer becomes the real must-do, real necessity during and within partnership deals. And I would like to address question to you, Vadim, because you here have more experience in this field. And please provide us with your insight.
Oh, guys, you know, my position is quite simple. When you're looking for substantial sales in Russia with innovative assets at the expense of the state-funded channels, then localization is must already. You know, it's really the extent how to localize depends on the product. Just for you, overview. So when you are introducing simple biosimilar, and we have plenty of them in Russia already doing the full cycle, you need to introduce on, the comparable level. So you need to be fully localized already. When you are doing at the different age, pure innovation, and actually you have such kind of the assets, there is no any competition, then probably you're allowed not to localize, but anyway, when you are just having some ambitions in state channel, still government would like from you to see the step forward and at least to have the fill and finish for the future, just to be listed in the product, to have the good and attractive price, you have to do this as well. So for my answer is for innovative localization, this is already in place. you should to take care about this in advance.
Thank you, Vadim. Another question, and this is quite expected question. What are the similarities and differences in negotiation approaches? Because we all understand that people are not robots. Everybody has certain experience, certain culture. So what are differences and what are commonalities in negotiation process? Svetlana.
Okay, I will share my personal experience. So, you know, after a few years of doing business with Chinese partners, I can say that here I have very good friends. And now we say, okay, now we understand you better. You are so soft, you are so kind, and etc., etc. But first impression was that all Russians were so tough, so strict and direct in communications. I think that this is the main difference which is visible. But having good and long-term cooperation, we see more and more similarity between us. We are all about people. We are all about a relationship. We really respect family, friends, parents, kids. And I think that this is something that can make us closer to each other. So my answer would be, please invest your time to build relationship. Please ask questions about the partner's interest, not only address your own targets, not only be focused on your company's targets, but also try to think about your partner. In this case, nothing to not solve. I would say everything is doable. As my colleagues said, at the deal signing, you cannot expect all difficulties what you face. But in case if you have the common language and common interest, you will find the solution.
Thank you very much. And now, because any panel session, it is not monologue, it's dialogue. Please, dear colleagues, address your question to our participants. If you have questions, we will be glad to answer.
Hello, my name is Duman Aslier, and thank you guys for your insight. I'm just curious, what advantage does the Russian pharmaceutical industry have that often get overlooked globally?
Sorry, can you please speak up?
Oh, can you hear me now? Yep. No?
Just speak up.
Okay. I'm just curious about the advantage that the Russian pharmaceutical industry have that often get overlooked globally.
You mean advantage? First of all, this is Russian pharmaceutical business. This is the main advantage. In fact, if you don't mind. In fact, Russian pharmaceutical business is about, as far as I remember, number from 8 to 9 in the pharmaceutical ranking. It's about amount. Amount of pharmaceutical business is similar to Brazil. So first of all, it's tangible business. Second point, this is 146 million population. For sure, it is not China, and this is not India. But this is, I think, rather considerable. On top of that, the GDP per capita is quite high, and buying power is there.
So the prevalence of innovative products is really evident. For example, in the Russian Federation, and I'm proud of that, there is availability of orphan products and orphan treatment, rare treatment, CAR-T treatment for patients, especially for children. And I'm proud of one thing, that our government doesn't save money on children. So for sure, any healthcare budget is not enough, never enough. But we in Russia spend it wisely. So that is why Russian healthcare system, and this is not advertising, one of the most advanced in the world. So we have no problem to have to go on to see the doctor. If you need analysis, you will have analysis tomorrow. You know why? Because you have analysis today, but result tomorrow. So that is why this is about a Russian healthcare system and consequently Russian pharmaceutical market, because this is mutual linked. Thank you.
To the opposite of the previous question, what are some potential problems or disadvantages of doing business in Russia?
Disadvantage?
By Chinese companies. We have innovative products for licensing out and collaboration. What are some potential disadvantages and problems?
Guys, I was about advantage. Who would like to speak about disadvantage?
All problems that we need to be aware of and solve the problems.
Okay, maybe not all problems, at least what I'm aware. You know, it's as usual hard to discuss with the government about the pricing of innovation. It's quite tough discussion as usual, and you need to present quite solid, you know, pharmacoeconomic packages for all the products. It's quite difficult because the budget is limited, and actually you need to be very much just, you know, to provide a lot of proofs that the products really need this. So this is first one. Actually, nobody 100% sure that it's possible to do at the reasonable level of the price. Even, for instance, big pharmaceutical companies, they have a lot of challenges here in Russia. That's really first one, I would say. You know, the second one, government constantly just make our legislation tougher and stricter. It's really difficult to foresee for next couple of the years. And right now, when I'm asking question about the localization, better to start to think in advance about full localization, because the government is willing to do this. Sometimes it seems that it's really crazy intention, because, you know, actually 5 people here, probably we have 30 manufacturing facilities already. This is more than Russia probably even needs. But this is government trend that we need actually to appreciate, I would say. So this probably like this one, two toughest for and disadvantages for Russia.
Well, now that you mentioned the regulatory issues, does Russia use US FDA or EMA or Chinese? Which level do you compare to in terms of difficulties for IND and NDA or imports?
I believe that we have our old way as usual, you know, because even if you are fully in comply with US FDA, EU FDA, still it's needed to be complied to EU FDA, yes, so our region, Russia plus 4 countries. So it looks like from structure perspective, it's same like in Europe, yeah, but it is same for China, same for Russia. We have our own nuances, yeah. But level of registration is really quite good in Russia, maybe same as in China or something like that.
Thank you, thank you.
Even guys, to provide some certain example, interesting, just met it a week ago. So good biosimilar, you know, with almost FDA EMA dossier, it's not possible to register in Russia, you know, because analytical method that was done should comply with our own pharmacopoeia. and we have all our own understanding how it should be looking like. So then you need to completely redevelop the analytical method. This is usually 6 months, quite significant time. So we have our own peculiarities, I would say. That's actually just to support what was said.
I would also add one peculiar moment. It is not disadvantage. It's a reality of our life. It's the reference pricing. So if you have a licensing partnership with Russian company and Russian partner register the price in Russia, and you suddenly decrease this price in China, in Russia this price will be also decreased. And sometimes for Chinese partners, it comes like surprise. So that is why the world more and more linked to each other and referenced. So that is why pricing system in Russia one of the most tough and wise. It is not about that anybody actually push you to have this price or nothing. No. If you have innovative product, if this product really life-saving, like 3 principles of orphan diseases, it's international. First of all, it should be disease-modifying. Second point, this should be life-saving. Third point, children practice. If 3 components works, I can give you 100% that this product will be reimbursed in Russia. But if this is old molecule, some, like these innovations, but in fact it is not, we all pharmaceutical professionals, and we understand what I speak about. No price will be registered. This is the reality. Any questions?
Привет, everyone. So my name is Harry. And
Ni hao.
And I have a question. So due to licensing Chinese products, so what's the acceptable level of Chinese clinical data? So what's your experience on doing this kind of collaborations with Chinese pharmas or Chinese biotechs?
I will answer. No, first of all, clinical data is about statistical power. It is not possible to say that, okay, 100 patients is good or 100 patients is bad. If the design is sophisticated, statistical power is there. If the dossier is built in the right way, so for sure, Russian regulator accepted, but there is a certain questions. First question is that except orphan designation, legislation of Eurasian Economic Union, Russia part of it, requires local patients. So that is why local patients, this means local clinical trials. But which kind? This already depends on the available Chinese data. If to speak about orphan designation, so for some products, our regulator can accept only Chinese patients. In some points, they could require Caucasian patients. For some reasons, they can ask for PK data. So the answer is, it depends on the quality of the data.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frank, and it's very pleasure to be here to attend the Russian session. I have a question. Actually, have 2 questions. So this is the first time I attend this sessions for the Russian market. So we also have some collaboration with some MNCs, mostly in Europe and America. but this is also very special to hear from you. So my question is, what do you recommend the first step? For example, like us, we are the Chinese, very local Chinese biotech company. So we'd like to extend our collaboration with Russian pharmaceutical partners. So what do you recommend? The second question is because normally you were talking about licensing deals in most cases, but we also have the technology service. We would like to also expand our technology service to find also Russian partnership to provide our service. So what do you have any experience to how to do it as a first step? That's my two questions. Thank you.
Let me answer you. First of all, as any new market, if you want to enter it, I think that first you need to start from market evaluation. And of course, potential Russian partners can help you. But anyway, this is your task, this is your call. You need to understand the market in order to make a business with this market. About technology transfer, you said service. Actually, we don't consider it like a service because this is something what two companies do. There is some sending party and there is a party who get this technology. And this is a full responsibility of two parties to do it. And I think that here, what is important, both parties should have their own capability to execute it. And as my colleagues said, you need to start from the understanding of your capabilities if your team is able to ensure this execution first, and then to understand the capability of the partner. If we have enough equipment, if we have enough level of staff development to execute it. I think that this is the first things what you need to know when you want to start with kind of cooperation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in case you have any more questions, we will be glad to answer. But organizers say that, sorry, we exceed the time limit. So thank you very much for your attention. And in case you have a question, you can catch our speakers and address your question directly. Thank you very much.
Dear colleagues, it's a great pleasure to be here and to be honored to present our next session about innovation and supply chain with China and Russia. And I would like to present our panelists. So Alexander Nazdrachov, Managing Partner of Innovanta Bio. Also Anna Minkova, she is Director of a lab from biggest academical institution, which is based in Moscow, is the Rogachov National Medical Research Center of Pediatrics, Hematology, Oncology, and Immunology. And also Mikhail Melinchuk, Head of BD of also one of the biggest pharmaceutical company, Biopharma. So now we have quite a strong team, and it's very important also presence of really client. So it means biggest research institution which use your equipment, your materials, your also collaborating with Chinese products in Russia, exactly. And before start our session, I would like to share some trends in innovation in global supply chains. And we know there is some problems and some highlights for this area. And we have at the moment quite economical instability, high logistic cost, strict sustainability requirements for global risk, geopolitical conditions, customs, new tariffs, what influence for our logistics. And you know all this story with new tariffs from US, with Trump put also crisis in Red Sea, Iran, and the war in in Ukraine, Russia, all these factors influence for logistics from Asia to Europe, increase the cost and risks for delivery of such sensitive materials, what we need for biopharmaceutical companies, for clinical trials, also for the labs. And according to Forbes, most significant risks what we have this year is economical volatility, also tariffs and trade barriers, geographical instabilities and all these conflicts, and cybersecurity. So it's the main challenges what we have now. And most supply chain and procurement trend what we have this year focus on transition from simply reducing cost model till the models of strategic finding strategic value. And the main drivers of changes now we have artificial intelligence and digital transformation of logistics in our area globally. Also operation stability, resilience, and strict SEG requirements, ecology, responsibility, management. And very important is digital transformation. For example, Forbes also notify what CEO analysis of questionnaire for CEO biggest companies show what more than 75% of companies in logistics will use artificial intelligence next years. And most challenges is again is a technological and digital transformation, operation stability, regionalization. So there is some risks, and companies try to organize the hubs out the initial production places. Another point is a guarantee of constant trade, centralization through GPC, also automatization, robotics, drive products and logistics, cybersecurity, and staff training. This is the main innovation what we have in logistics. Cooperation with China in supply chain. Now we have unique situation, and our colleagues before share this idea. What because of sanctions, many Western producer, not drugs, but producer of lab equipment, producer of ingredients, producer of different devices moved from Russia. And it's a unique situation because now our companies and also academic institutions, they need to substitute all these products. And it's a good chance for Chinese companies to go to Russia and to work. And they have example of car industry. To be honest, I think in Moscow, our colleagues could confirm now more than 50% cars is a Chinese car during the last two years with good quality and people happy. So I think other industry also can use such a possibility to work in Russia with our colleagues. So, but for sure there is some barriers, risks what need to be shared. And I think our colleagues also can share their experience, their knowledge, and their recommendation for our Chinese partner. So in this case, I can maybe put some words, and some of our colleagues then present the background, and we can start to discuss our questions. Okay? So Alexander maybe can say something.
Vladimir, thank you very much. And I would like to introduce myself second time. My name is Alexander Nozdrachev. I'm managing partner of consulting agency in Avant Bio. We do consulting business for Russian pharmaceutical companies in the field of product portfolio, business development and licensing, and assessment of innovative pharmaceutical assets.
Anna.
Dear colleagues, please show my presentation.
No, just present yourself.
I'm Anna Meninkova. I am the director of the laboratory diagnostic departments in Rogachev Center. It's the biggest center for pediatric oncology, hematology, and immunology. I would like to discuss a number of laboratory diagnostic problems related to Chinese laboratory equipment and regions.
Dear colleagues, nice to meet you here. My name is Mikhail Melnichuk. I'm deputy head of BD in Biopharma company. It is a full-cycle manufacturing company that produces API and finished form. So I'm responsible for expanding portfolio with new products. I think in different nosologies and new type of dosage forms. Thank you.
And as a panelist, I also present myself. So my name is Vladimir Popov. I'm professor in clinical pharmacology. I am working in biggest Rosbiotech University in Moscow. Also, I'm principal investigator for clinical trials and head of clinical trial unit in the Russian Railways hospital network. And now we can start from first questions. What is the strategic drivers behind stronger China-Russian CIS biopharma collaboration?
Now, first of all, key driver is geopolitics. We are neighbors. And our relations actually goes towards, centuries back. And Russia and China have close links, and we have cultural similarities. This is the main point for our collaboration. The second point is that Russia is a good market for Chinese companies, because for sure this is not that large amount of population compared to Chinese population, but 146 million consumers, together with relatively high GDP per capita, brings a very attractive driver for Chinese companies to enter Russian pharmaceutical market. Also, as a driver, I would state that today China is already comparable with key pharmaceutical markets and key geographies in terms of patent applications in the field of pharmaceuticals and biopharmaceuticals. 2024, the different calculation, different approaches, from 30 to 45% of the international value in the field of business development and licensing deals came from Chinese deals. So that is why China now is the world leader in the field of pharmaceutical innovations. So that is why here we have synergy. On the one hand, a good consumption market. Second point, long-term cultural relationship. And third point, market which consumes very actively innovations. And also Chinese innovations which are, I would say, not comparable to the world, but leading now the world. And it brings absolute 100% synergy.
Mikhail?
Yes, I want to add that Russian companies view Chinese partners not as only suppliers of API, finished forms or excipients, but like a strategic alliance partners. So because there are a lot of innovations in China, and there is rather big market in Russia, so I think that cooperation is not only supplying, but also for innovation alliance creating.
Yeah, but I think, this year, because I'm in university, is a year of joint education of Russia and China. Last year was a year of science, Russia and China. With a lot of program would support our development on the government level, and I think it's really important also to increase this collaboration on business level with the companies. We are supporting Chinese traditional medicine in Russia because it's also cultural important to have, and the colleagues previously talked about face-to-face or family communication, because we need to know Chinese culture, Chinese people need to know Russian culture. Now we do not have visa. You can fly to Moscow or St. Petersburg to visit our hospital institutions without any problems. I think there is a lot of positive things what can drive our collaboration and also business as well. Okay, the next question, I think we can discuss also obstacles and barriers. And first of all, for sure, our Chinese colleagues, they worry about sanctions, because for sure Russia is 1%, China is 14% of global, and the US is 30% of the biopharmaceutical. And for sure, to be honest, Chinese companies, they attract to go first to US is logical. But there is sanction in Russia, and maybe our panelists will share the experience, the influence of sanction and how we can avoid the risks with sanctions.
In my experience, actually I mentioned that what I do, I'm deal maker on Russian side. And sanctions, it's about perception. Because we work on behalf of Russian companies with leading Chinese companies. No problem. Sanctions, okay, but what is the sanctions? Sanctions are not about pharmaceutical business. So that is why it's about perception. Once actually I experienced that one company, which is not big, absolutely, and they told me about sanctions only because their owner was an American citizen. He was afraid that he can lose American citizenship. In fact, it is nonsense how it is possible. Sanctions do not cover pharmaceuticals or medicines. So it is about perception. So, and my opinion here that sanctions is something what many people talk about, but only few can understand what it really mean. On top of that, everybody is already afraid of sanctions. And what the recent events shows in the world, that already many countries already say, stop. We don't want sanctions. We don't want all these tensions. We all see how it badly ends. Let's already collaborate on the fair, transparent basis. And no one country can dictate another country what to do and with whom to be friend.
No, I do agree with Alexander, because from our experience as well, I think it's only a personal view of people and what they see in the TV, mainly the influence of this from journalists or from some their understanding, because in reality it's different. First of all, there is no any influence on logistic chain from the sanctions. We can send supplies to Russia, we can send biosamples to Chinese lab without any problems. We can transfer money, so for sure there is influence to visa, but in any case it's possible to transfer money in yuan, and we can buy and transfer, so no problem at all. It's also in that. And as Alexander told, there is no sanction on pharmaceuticals, and no one pharmaceutical company moved from Russia. I think only Eli Lilly and BMS. All other, Pfizer, all biggest biopharmaceutical companies, they're working in Russia. They just not investing on clinical trials, but they're selling, they organizing, they're participating on congresses, they're teaching the medical doctors of their products. So there's no any influence. And we see what other companies from India, from other regions, from Switzerland, AstraZeneca conducting clinical trials and doing research in Russia, Novartis doing, Roche as well. So, so it's in this case, is official data what could be shared. So I think there is no risk here for Chinese companies to go to Russia. Also, our data accepted by FDA, EMA, in our regulation, absolutely compliant. And for logistics, again, no any difficulties because pharmaceutical market is not under the sanctions. It's only compared to cars. But again, for cars, it's good profit for Chinese companies because, as I told before, in Moscow, if you visit Moscow, you can see all Chinese cars. Mikhail, do you?
Good cars.
Yeah.
So I also want to say thanks to our Chinese partners that helps us to supply whatever we want. As Alexander said, there is no problems in Russia now. So again, thanks our Chinese partners.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. The next question is about production and localization, because we discussed needs of localization, so it's a technological transfer, and so we need supplies of new equipment to Russia, etc., etc. And what can really be localization and could be localized in Russia in the horizon on 5 years? Single-use system, filters, reactors, analytics. Alexander, question for you.
First of all, I would say the principle of localization, it is not about, how to say, problems with supply. In fact, I wouldn't see the problems with supply because, okay, supply chain is there. The supply of certain elements, filters, medical devices, instruments is there. Maybe now it's a bit longer. So it is about planning in advance. Another question is maybe it is really required to establish maybe certain processes of assembling or manufacturing in the country only because the country is already quite considerable in terms of consumption, and the localization of manufacturing really help you in terms of pricing, in terms of local government subsidizing, the freedom to operate in the country, and other benefits which Russian government provides to the manufacturing plants and those businesses who decide to manufacture. And also the number of population and number of consumption already provides you that this is a necessary in terms of business perspectives to establish this manufacturing in the country. So my answer is that if this is the reason to establish this manufacturing in terms of benefits from the government and the speed of supply, so for sure it is required. If not, this is all about planning in advance, just planning of the supply, because supply is already there. It works.
Yeah, and also it's like innovation trend. So more closer to consumer. And Mikhail, if Biopharma doing some localization with foreign companies.
Yes, thank you. Of course, we understand that requirement changes not only in China but in Russia, and that means that Russian manufacturers need to localize their products and API to take part in any market in Russia. That means that localization is necessary now. So, of course, Russian pharmaceutical companies works with this information. We try to localize not only finished form production, but API excipients production also. This is my answer.
Yeah, thank you. So in any case, it's not, how to say, idea, something new in Russia. I think that in China you have similar. The government would like to protect the own market and the preference for local producer and support for local producer. The same program in Russia. So we have program 2030. So it's a program of development of pharmaceutical industry, and Chinese company could attend this program doing technological transfer, and to be this case Russian product, Russian drugs, and it's very important for tenders, particularly in the area then your drug will be used in hospitals and clinics, oncology. All the area we discussed today is like orphan drugs, oncology, immunology is a hospital. If you would like to go to hospital, you need to participate in tenders, competition with different producer. And if you have innovative drugs, for sure, yeah. But if you have biosimilar, generic, no chance to win.
Actually, the question was about medical instruments. So if we speak about pharmaceutical products, here is a bit different situation. Pharmaceutical products, we have the rule. In case two local companies participate in the tenders, the third originated from the foreign countries is not allowed. So in this case, if your product is not innovative or is already not under patent, in this case, the localization of pharmaceutical production is really required. For innovative products, it is required only in this way if you have products which can substitute you. For example, product which are Me Too. Because in this case, Russian government doesn't include the product in essential drug list. So the requirement for local production is strong. For orphan products, because we all understand that for orphan products to establish localization is quite difficult, because orphan production is, how to say, it is for many countries in just one production plan, it is not relevant. Thank you.
To add that these rules that Alexander said is for tender market, for hospital market, but if you are going to enter Russian retail market, it is not necessary to localize your products. That's why this rule is working just for tender to hospital market.
Okay, thank you. In about quality and regulation, just a question about GMP production, GMP certification. If Chinese GMP enough in Russia, and what's the procedure, how to satisfy requirements of Russian Ministry of Health for GMP certification? What do you think? What is your recommendation for Chinese companies?
First of all, one of the process of due diligence, we actually, my clients and me, we visit production plant here, just to see how it works. Because, the rest from the very beginning actually, based on our experience, everything already evident. What is the notification from my experience of last 5 years collaboration with Chinese companies? My respect that the level of production very high, is very high. The process of due diligence actually sometimes coincides with pre-audit, because Russian partners already during due diligence process start preparation for Russian GMP preparation. Because this is not all about, just to change something. No, that's all about the comply with certain requirements of Russian Eurasian Economic Union. It's a supranational institution, GMP inspection. And During 1 year, it is possible to register for and to host Russian GMP inspection and receive GMP certificate. What is the rule of the thumb? Based again on my experience, so I don't see a lot of examples that Chinese companies didn't pass this GMP inspection. So usually my experience shows that the level of manufacturing is even higher than worldwide, and not pass the Russian GMP inspection is a quite a rare case.
Mikhail.
I think I cannot add anything to Alexander because he said absolutely correct, and I agree with.
So no worry about GMP, and we know China has strong GMP, and you can go to Russia with your products. But in any case, it have to be inspected by Russian GMP inspection. Okay, let's because part of our congress about laboratory equipment, laboratory supplies, and it's very important also to discuss this point. And just for your information, for example, in my hospital, several years ago, we bought a lab from Roche. And now we are using Chinese equipment too. And we are buying Chinese equipment for lab because it's cheaper and quality is good. So we would like to discuss the substitution of Chinese equipment and reagents. Case study from National Medical Research Center of Pediatric Hematology, Oncology, and Immunology. And there is some topics what really interesting for us to discuss with you is reproducibility of analytical methods between laboratories in Russian Federation and China, system of external quality control, difference in immunological tests between laboratories in Russia and China, and maintenance of equipment service. So Anna, maybe you can show some slides as well. Can you show some slides? Slides.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I will stay and show. Не листать как? I said about problems which my laboratory have with Chinese laboratory equipment and regions. This is firstly an external quality assessment system for laboratory research. Secondly, the difference in a number of immunochemical tests between laboratories in the Russian Federation and China. And thirdly, it's a big problem for us is the maintenance of analyzers, the training of engineers in service centers. Let's start the first slide. The first point. There are a small number of laboratories that participate in external laboratory quality assessment programs and operate on Chinese equipment. A small comparison group that doesn't allow using parametric statistical methods for analysis and having reliable information about the quality of regions and Chinese-made equipment. For example, you see the result of the request external quality assessment systems. It's the made in Great Britain, the quality system. as can be seen on the slide, the number of laboratories working on equipment manufactured by SNIPE, Mindray, is only 35. Тут не светит она, да? Понятно. Ну, ладно. 35 laboratories, or you see only 4 laboratories, 5 laboratories. It's very small. While European and American equipment is represented in 100, 200, so 300 laboratories. Russian laboratories are ready to participate in external quality assessment programs in China and compare their work with leading laboratories in China. This is the same situation in infection panels and cancer markers. It's as examples. The second problem that we would like to discuss the difference in immunochemical tests between laboratories in China and American and European analyzer and equipment. For example, this is troponin I. And I'm sure that you know that troponins is in circulating blood are a heterogeneous mixture of free troponin complexes and derivatives of troponin. Reagents manufacturers use monoclonal antibodies to various troponin epitopes for the immunochemical reaction. Therefore, it's difficult to standardize this method. The laboratories in Russia had equipment from major manufacturers in Europe and America using only monoclonal antibodies. Chinese manufacturers use monoclonal antibodies to other troponin epitopes. So on this slide, you see that manufacturers Shenzhen, its line red line, differs dramatically in the terms of troponin values from other manufacturers. You see, it's 348, but compare with Abbott or Siemens, its result is only 4 or 1. 004 at 0001. Yes? You understand, I think. So it's necessary for Chinese manufacturers to participate in the verification of reference values for laboratory tests. They may differ not only due to population difference, but also due to use monoclonal antibodies to different epitopes of the same analyte. Also, I would like to point out that with control materials from Chinese manufacturers, we cannot control the entire linearity zone of the analyte. As an example, on this slide, the quality control of free 3-iod-threonine. Look, the Mindray control does not cover high values of free T3. Therefore, we use a European manufacturer's control material. And the third part of my message without presentation, it's default to problems with maintenance of Chinese analyzers. The software and version of the devices are frequently changed. It's a very problem for our engineers, Russian engineers. Our engineers often did not come across a new upgrade version of the laboratory analyzer. There are also difficulties in translating instruction from Chinese into Russian, and the translation is simplified, and particular points that are important are not translated. Let me conclude with this. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very useful, I think, information for Chinese producer of equipment, analyzer, and reagents, because it's really part of this Congress, and we need to compare our data to receive reliable data, and its quality it's all in pharmaceutical and also in laboratory practice. And I think it's very important all this point which Anna shared with our colleagues. And some other questions about logistics and cold chain, because some biologicals, they need the cold chain and shipment from China to Russia, and also biosamples shipment from Russian clinical sites to China. What about cold chain? Alexander, what do you think? Is it any problem on that, or?
I think cold chain supply is already well established, because most biological products, I mean, for clinical use, require cold chain. So several, I know personally me, though I'm not responsible for supply chain, I know several suppliers of such services of cold chain supply to the Russian Federation from China, and I don't see any problems or any complaints from Russian pharmaceutical companies partnering with Chinese partners linked to supply chain with cold chain.
Yeah, so from our experience as well, so in the past when we did run clinical trials with the US and the European pharmaceutical companies, we sent biosamples to US, to Europe without any problems. Now we have good connection with China, and from many of Russian cities, but also for sure main hub is Moscow, St. Petersburg. But now we have flights from Novosibirsk, from Khabarovsk. So I think the time to deliver samples is quite short, and so we can send in any temperature, -20, -40. So we can apply any temperature needed to send the samples in case of clinical trials, and I think biological as well. So during the COVID, the vaccine we stored with a -60, and we shipped also this vaccine in in this condition to all part of the Russia. So I think it's, from my opinion, it's not a problem at all at the moment. About Anna, what do you think about shipment of samples, laboratory samples, to China or to back? Do you have experience?
Chip method? Chinese equipment now in laboratory in Rogachev Center is only Mindray. We continue to work on European equipment because I don't
Switched. Yeah.
I'm not sure in control quality in laboratory Chinese region. I see this problem on my slideshow. So if I speak about Mindray or Snipe or Maglumi equipment, the regions continue to work in our country, and we don't have problem with our поставки. supplying in our country and this laboratory of Rogachev Center.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And next question about the customs, because sometimes also there's a barrier or artificial barrier or the real barrier. What do you think, Alexander? Customs.
I think customs are similar in any countries. So there are certain procedures, rules, and comply with this rule. So our customs are not much different from other countries. And in some point, what I see, for example, nowadays in Europe, between Europe and other countries, the custom from China to Russia and backwards works pretty well. At least we don't see any problems with not comply with timelines or any force majeure between our countries.
Yeah, from our experience, for sure, customs is like regulator, and we need to apply the requirements. And what just as a recommendation from our experience, because customs, they mostly works with the papers, so the paper activity. And if you are prepare paper correctly, it means invoice and other, no any problem with customs. But you need to know what Russian custom is strict. So they checked all the goods. For sure, not 100%, but they checking the goods. And if you are shipping something to Russia, and if you put something additionally to the delivery, and this is not indicated in the invoice, in this case is a problem. And if you have a manager who is responsible for supplies to Russia, you need to train this person, for sure. You need to know all these requirements, because the problem happened then a manager changed, and the person who knows all the requirements changed for another person who sent products to US or to Australia. For sure, it's different legislation, different direction. And my opinion, you need to have manager who knows these rules, and he really check these invoices and to compare the invoice with the goods what the company shipping to Russia. Otherwise, for sure, customs blocking the shipment, not for 1 day, maybe for weeks. In this case, it's a delay. To avoid this delay, you need to prepare invoice correctly, and what you put into the shipment must be really compare with what you are sending in the shipment. It's very, very important. And if something happens, and someone will say, okay, it's very difficult to ship something to Russia, it's only because of their mistake. You see, it's only because of their mistake, because sometimes they put something, some syringes or some needles, in case it's like a red flag for Russian custom, and they're blocking the shipment. Okay. In regards for payments and finance stability, if there is possibility to pay to China and to receive payment from China, Alexander, maybe you can comment to that.
Oh, here actually, I have certain experience in this field because any licensing and distribution contract mandatory prescribes how much, which timelines the payments should be processed. And what is the insight and maybe advice from my side? Well, first of all, any licensing agreement requires banking details from both parties, just to understand how much to whom should be paid. And what both parties, Russian parties and Chinese parties, secure now. This is a new trend. They secure potential payments through the agent. In some points of view, it actually plus 2.5 to 5%. But it actually allows to make a payment for during the short period of time. Second opportunity is that Chinese partners open bank account in the branch of Russian bank VTB. Russian state-owned bank VTB has the branch in China. It is called VTB China. And in this case, the payment from Russia to China goes very smooth and no problem. For example, our recent deal, where I was an advisor, we prescribed that the payment would be quite fast and would be from the Russian company to the Chinese company. The first payment after the signature of the deal. No time. So Russian company, what did? They used the third party agent. But for other payments, already Chinese partner opened bank account in VTB China, and all other payments processed through this way. So, in so many words, yes, there are certain requirements, certain moves which we should done, and certain prescription of agent possibilities just to be on the safe position. But the payments are processed, and in fact, in a finalized way, in the fact, no problem.
I do agree with Alexander because you see, we are paying now to Europe. You know, the problem not in our company or your company. The problem within the banks. And for sure, in Russia, we have banks under the sanction, like Sberbank is the biggest state bank. But there is other banks not under the sanctions, like Rossельхозbank, other like European bank, Unicredit, or Hungarian banks. And for example, we are paying to Europe, euro. You know, we are paying to European companies euro from Russia through Hungarian bank, which is based in Moscow. So, you mean, how to explain? So no problem at all. So we can pay to China, and no worry. The European company is not worry what we are paying in euro. But you see, you know, sanctions from Europe to Russia, no from China to Russia. And I think there's no worry of Chinese companies about this payment what Russian company doing to China. It's only just artificial, just expecting maybe something happening. But as our colleagues previously told us, what we are thinking about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If something happened in 15 years, who knows what happened? Okay, do you have comment?
Yes, I agree with you. It was a funny moment that we have a few contracts with Europe and we can pay to Europe, but we have a little problems when we want to buy the ticket to BioChina. So it's very fun, but yes, it is not very easy like was previously. Yes, there are some problems with payment, but we're still working, and I think in future everything will be normal.
So the question is, I think my suggestion, my colleague.
And now we pay for Chinese supermarket our Russian credit card, and we can do it.
Yeah. So some banks. So it means the question not in the Russia, or the question is the bank. If you will contact correct bank, you can pay and you can receive money. It's a policy of the banks. For sure, some European banks or maybe some American banks would don't like to do these transfers. But if it's national banks, no problem at all. So I think it's quite safe and smooth. Okay, colleagues, I think we are close to the end. Maybe there is some questions to panelists from the auditorium. May I have any questions?
Hello, colleagues. Nice to meet you here. This is Rennie from Shanghai Roche Pharmaceutical. My question is about the patent for Russia now. Because you know that many generics have the patent, but I want to know the situation about the patent problems in Russia. Thank you.
Just to clarify, you actually considering patent protection?
Yes, patent. Yes.
So I understand the reason of your question, because maybe you actually heard that the Russian government granted mandatory patent to the local generic companies.
Yes.
No, first of all, I think my colleague will answer better than me, but what I can tell you, I'm actually teaching in the Higher School of Economics in the university myself. And I can provide you with a real case. Novo Nordisk says, due to political sanctions, we decided not to supply semaglutide to the Russian Federation. In fact, the reason why not supply was because they had a problem with manufacturing. The capacity was not enough. That was the real reason. And that year, actually, when I got student, I told them that Russian Federation has all the rights now to grant the license for this product to the local company, because it's national security and patients' rights. This actually had precedence in Europe. This had precedence in South Africa, and based on the convention on the patent protection international, any government can actually execute the right to grant the license to the local company in case there is the epidemiology threat or the threat for patients or misuse of the patents by patent owners. So Russian government never ever break any patent rights for those companies who continue supply the products to the Russian Federation and don't misuse the patent and secure the patient rights. And my colleague can actually tell more about it because he actually has the experience in this field.
Thank you, Alexander. Yes, you're absolutely right. What I can add to your answer, if any company wants to work with Russia and ready to supply their products, innovative products, you are welcome. No problems with patients inside our country. But if, as Alexander said, any company decided not to supply because of the politics or something else, so of course it's one of instrument of protection, and I think any products can be produced inside the country, not by originators.
You can play your political games, but patients, sorry, you cannot play with patients. No way.
And I can add, because it's really a good example with Biopharma. Why? Because it's not Russian government decided. It means the company contacted Novo Nordisk and sent the letter asking, are you going to supply the product or are you going to register? And they not reply. Really, they not reply, not refusing. So it means it's not just Putin decided to give them rights. No, it's a procedure, official procedure and documented procedure. So in case Novo Nordisk can go to the court, but they're not able to do it because they decided not to supply. So this is the main point. So to be sure, in Russia, all the patent, they're safe, protected. Your rights protected. But in case the Russian government or Russian company will ask you, are you going to supply? If you refuse because of political reason, for sure, patient health is first, and we need to protect patient health and well-being. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, colleagues?
Thank you for presentation. Thank you for presentation. I have one very naive question. Want to ask you. So, firstly, welcome to China. Second, because we have, I want to know during your cooperation with other country, especially on the clinical development and the manufacture, which need very careful about the quality and the trust. So, do you think the culture difference is one big challenge during cooperation with other country? Culture difference. Sorry, can you hear me now? Yes. Yeah, so sorry that I think because the drug development is different from the other business, we really need a very high quality about the CMC quality and the clinical development about the patient rights and this kind of thing. So this is a different business. So I want to know, when you cooperate with other country, do you think the culture difference is one challenge during your cooperation with other country partner? Culture difference. Because of China, we have our work model and the social model, but because US and EU or Russian have also different cooperation model. But the trust is very important during every cooperation. So do you think when you go to the other country, just like you mentioned Korea or Japan or China, do you think the culture difference is one challenge during we cooperate in the drug development?
I can say, you see, I'm working in the big clinic group, Russian Railways. And before the sanctions, before this 2022, we opened clinic in Khabarovsk together with the Japanese doctors, together with Japanese state hospital joined. So it means for sure there is a difference in culture. And I told you at the beginning, now we are learning more about China, about Chinese medicine, about Chinese culture. And last year it was year of science collaboration with China. Now is year of education with China. So it means our students go to China to learn more. And if you see in Beijing airport or Shanghai, a lot of young Russian students go to China. So I think for sure there is a difference, but decreasing year by year. And if you are thinking to work with Russia, you need to start to work with Russia. Just fly to St. Petersburg to see our cuisine. It's not worse than here in Suzhou. So I think intercultural difference exists. But I think the working model in Russia is a European one. If you're working with US, in Russia quite similar. Working hard every day.
You know, before my study in Shanghai in 2012, I thought we have a cultural difference. After my study in China, I started looking at Russians and stating they're too straightforward. How they can actually convey their thoughts so rude. I would say like this, we are not much different in terms of culture. You know why? We have similar history. Not in terms of, imperial and so on and so forth. We have quite similar past 100-year history. We actually passed through the same troubles. And with all these troubles, we became more wise. And you have a special philosophy, Confucian. We have certain cultural basement. But in the finalized way, we really can hear each other and understand each other. And just in my point of view, because I work in my field negotiating with different nationalities and different countries, to work with China, for me, it is always pleasure. Why? Because we always can agree, but we don't agree mailing exchange. We agree sitting together and explaining directly our thoughts and our concerns. So just to answer, we have the same background, not to be really different. We have some background, so that is why we always can agree.
There are a lot of nationalities in Russian Federation and a lot of cultural difference. In laboratory, there are a lot of nationalities works, and we can understand together and work strong and difficult for us, and our results is very good. And there is the result of a lot of opinion because a lot of nationalities and cultural. Yes, I think so.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Because I want one comments because I work in the MNC and responsible the China cohort clinical development. So I never met one challenge that the other country do not trust the China data. But when I cooperate with some different countries, biotech, the first question is that can I trust China data? So this is I heard very recently some feedback from the foreign country, but although I didn't know if you have heard any comments for Russia that the other country didn't trust Russia data.
No, you know, we give Russian data is not bad to compare to other countries, to US as well. For example, our site audited by FDA with good results, and the drug was registered in US and Europe, and small biotech sold it to AstraZeneca for more than $800 million with good results based on Russian and Indian data. So it, plus a little bit American one. And they spend the good economical result for this company. So it means, constantly, because this special operation, we have a lot of American clinical trials, and all these multinational companies, they did studies in Russia. Why? Because they're able to recruit enough patients in time and save the money. And in our projects, we recruit, for example, for such indication as immune thrombocytic purpura, is quite rare. We recruited patients in 6 months, 12 patients. In Europe and Spain and UK, in more than 20 sites, they recruited 5 patients in 2 years. And companies successfully registered the drug. So it means the data, all the data, they're acceptable for Europe, for US, and don't worry about the data. Because all our labs equipped in very modern equipment. Roche, other now Abbott, now Chinese. So, for example, this hospital of the Research Institute of Rogachev, very key leader in oncology in Russia. So they did a lot of trials.
Pediatric
oncology. So they did a lot of trials for these big international pharmaceutical companies with good success. So don't worry about data.
Thank you so much.
You know, this is double standards. Double standards, you know,
Because they are only unknown, but
what I can tell you, I'm not about clinical data. Yes, I have a client, had clients, and we had several GMP inspections. 2 only didn't pass. They 2 were from Germany. That's it.
Colleagues, I think we are 5 minutes out of our time. If any last question? Okay, no question. Thank you very much, our panelists. Thank you very much, colleagues, for your participation. Have a good Congress.
更多内容请持续关注异想线上。See you next time.